And the reason for the title is combating.
You won't believe what happened next. Every week. For 4 years. Two brothers, Malcolm Jamal Warner and Eddie Griffin, showed up to fight a battle most of us never even knew was happening. Not a TV show. Not Hollywood drama. A war. A war against a system determined to break down, silence, and erase powerful black men in entertainment. You think that sounds dramatic? Then buckle in, because by the end of this, you won't be asking if the war is real. You'll be wondering who's next. Let's rewind to when these two icons teamed up on Malcolm and Eddie. A sitcom, sure, but for them, it was more like a frontline. They weren't just trying to make people laugh, they were fighting to create a space where black characters could be funny without being stereotypes. But Hollywood wasn't trying to hear that. Every episode became a tug-of-war with the writers, with producers, with the so-called system. It wasn't about jokes anymore. It was about dignity. Malcolm once said it felt like going from a top university to a junior college. And not because the work was easier, but because no one wanted to elevate the story. We didn't bring you here for that, they were told. And eventually, the show got cut, 88 episodes in. Just 12 shy of the magic number for syndication. 12. That's generational wealth erased because they dared to push back. But this isn't about a canceled show. It's about what happens after you say no to the machine. For over a decade, Eddie Griffin has been shouting into the void, warning us all, there's a system built to emasculate, discredit, and destroy black male entertainers who don't fall in line. It starts small, wear the dress. Do the role. Play the fool. Get the laugh. But the real goal? Break you down. Make you a product. A puppet. He wasn't exaggerating. Just look around, Dave Chappelle, Martin Lawrence, Kevin Hart. All wore dresses on screen. Coincidence? Or conditioning? Now here's the part that'll stop you cold. On July 20th, 2025, Malcolm Jamal Warner, yes, Theo from The Cosby Show, was found dead. Drowned, reportedly, off the coast of Costa Rica. No witnesses. No foul play. Just another tragic accident. But if you were paying attention, that accident didn't feel accidental. The moment Eddie heard the news, he didn't post a sad emoji or a standard RIP. He went nuclear. His Instagram tribute didn't just mourn a friend, it named the war. A father. A poet. A warrior. A man I went to war with against the Hollywood machine. That's not metaphor. That's code. You don't call someone a warrior unless they were fighting something real. And Malcolm was fighting. Hard. In his final months, he started dropping truth bombs on his Instagram like it was a battlefield. No more diplomacy. No more playing the game. He was done hiding in the shadows. I'm tired of running for shade, he said. Aren't you tired of being hustled and played? That wasn't poetry. That was rebellion. He was finally using his voice to do what the industry had always feared, wake people up. He talked about how black artists are programmed to glorify destruction. How the system sells back our pain in shiny packages. He called out the machine, by name. And at the exact moment when major figures like Diddy were facing investigations, Epstein ties were unraveling, and the world was finally starting to question the rot inside Hollywood, that's when Malcolm accidentally drowns? Come on. But here's the twist, this wasn't the first time the machine has moved like this. Michael Jackson? Died right before a massive comeback tour that would have given him full control over his music. Prince? Fought to own his masters, ended up dead in an elevator. Whitney Houston? Lost right as her story of survival was turning the tide. Bill Cosby? Faced decade-old allegations the moment he tried to buy NBC. Now, don't get it twisted, this isn't about guilt or innocence. This is about timing. Patterns. Power. And Eddie? He's been connecting the dots for years. His stand-up specials weren't just jokes, they were dispatches from behind enemy lines. And every time someone powerful tried to stand on their own, to speak truth, to build independent wealth, they got taken down. You ever notice how scandals involving black men are always about race, but scandals involving white men are just scandals? John Jones gets labeled black athlete arrested. But when a white celebrity messes up, it's just man accused. The language matters. The framing matters. And Malcolm? He was starting to see through all of it. He started a podcast that challenged every lie the media fed us about what it meant to be hood, to be black, to be masculine. He wasn't angry. He was awake. But here's the piece that hurts the most. To really understand Malcolm, you have to understand Michelle Thomas. She played Justine on The Cosby Show, but off-screen, she was his everything. His love. His anchor. His conscience. When Michelle died of cancer in 1998, Malcolm was shattered. He climbed into her hospital bed and held her as she passed. And for the next 27 years, every decision he made, every role, every fight, was guided by the question, what would Michelle do? She never sold out. Never chased fame. Always chose integrity. And in his final year, Malcolm finally stopped compromising too. That was the line he crossed. He became too loud. Too honest. Too powerful. You think the machine didn't notice? Look, Eddie Griffin knew what this was. That's why his tribute came fast, raw, and unfiltered. Not a PR-approved post. Not a cleaned-up quote. Just truth. Straight from the heart of a man who's been watching this system devour his people for decades. He didn't say, we acted together. He said, we went to war. He didn't call Malcolm a colleague. He called him a warrior. That's not grief. That's a message. A warning. Because when character assassination doesn't work, when they can't smear you, can't blacklist you, can't shut you up, there's always a final phase. A permanent one. Malcolm Jamal Warner was one of the good ones. A man who fought with grace, who stayed grounded, who never stopped trying to make things better. And when he finally stopped playing the game and started speaking the truth out loud, that's when his time ran out. But we're not letting his legacy disappear into a headline. No. We remember. We watch. We speak. If this hit you like it hit me, do one thing before you scroll away, share this. Keep the story alive. Make some noise in the comments. And most of all, don't let the machine win by staying silent. Because this war? It's still happening. And we need more warriors like Malcolm. Rest in power, King. Let's keep fighting.